You were born when?
1932. So I did not see these bricks laid down. What I know is what Dad told me. And I remember him telling, he came out here. They moved here in July of '29. He came out here in the spring, and it was paved out as far as John Wiles Poultry Farm, which is just above Rubbermaid. And the pavement at that point ended, and he came a little farther and got stuck. It was in the spring of the year.
Okay.
So I have to think that this thing was done sometime after that, but I'm not dead sure of that. And he told me that the bricks were laid down by an Italian crew, and it was well organized. Fellows were on their knees placing the bricks, and as soon as they laid one down, there was another brick appeared right in front of them. They had it organized. Fellows were feeding the bricks right in.
Okay.
And in a good day, in the average day, they did a mile, and in a really good day, they did 1.25 miles.
So when did you first see the pavers?
Oh, I was born in that house down there, so every time we went to town, we went across the brick road.
All right. So when they began the project, you knew they'd get down to the brick, huh?
I figured, yeah, because I remember the brick when I was a kid. They used to call it the brick road.
And so what kind of brick do you think it is?
Well, I suppose since they were near Worcester here that they possibly might have been Worcester pavers down here. Turns out that's not the case. So I don't know where they came from, but there's a lot of brick. Jim has no doubt told you the story of the guys laying this brick.
Yeah.
Been a huge job, but it's held up well. There's not a pothole in the whole thing, so they did a good job.
You know, always looking for a new brick for my collection. We went over to the Historical Society, and they thought that we could come over here and see if you had something. So.
How do you end up in Worcester on this road project where you're not even supposed to be? How do you end up here?
we love to drive to Amish country. We're actually going to head down to Strasburg today, but wanted to come down, and we stopped in Worcester to do some antiquing, and one thing led to another. We actually went to a hobby shop that had pavers in the side of the building, and I recognized the nature of the pavers, and we met a guy in the street, and he said go over to the Historical Society, and one thing led to the other.
So I know you just saw one of the bricks. Does it tell you anything or anything?
Well, that particular brick, I mean, it's not a pattern that I have. Normally the bricks that I do collect have names and different patterns on them. I'm not sure the history of this particular brick, but you know, we're always looking for something a little different. You know, bricks with different holes in them, or different names, or that type of thing. So yeah, but I don't know the history of this particular road or this particular brick. But I do have a brick book at home that tells me the history of different names and different patterns of bricks.
And what kind of features would you say this brick has that you
Well,
saw?
it's a paver. It's a large, solid paver. You know, it has 3 grooves in it, which again is something that I know from my collection that I don't have. You know, so yeah.
It says summer 41.
Summer 41, the road from here on up through Smithville was improved. It was widened 2 feet on each side, and then paved over with asphalt. The grading on the ditch banks was done by gangs of 40 men to a gang. And they did it by hand, using mattocks. Cut the grade and everything on the ditches. Well, in December 41, we had Pearl Harbor. There was talk at that time of improving this on to Worcester, going straight across here, probably taking this house. But with Pearl Harbor, all talk of road and construction type things ceased because of the war.